Rap and Reason podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins. All right, we are back with another episode of Rap and Reason podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
And I'm Earl Hopkins. What's going on?
What's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. Job is wearing me out as best it can. But we staying head above water, bro. How you feeling, man?
Same here, bro. Like it's been a grind this weekend. We not even all the way through it yet. It's been a lot of work, but it's all good stuff, man. It's all blessings, man. I got to shout out LNS from Akon's newly signed group Sheesh for popping into my hip hop class on Monday. I'll probably post some pictures from it later this week, or maybe even a video. But yeah, man. Yeah, just back in grind mode.
Yeah, bro. That's what it's about, man. And this past weekend, I forgot to mention Canelo Crawford fight. Did you
Oh,
see
we
it?
gotta talk. Of course, ain't no.
Yeah, man.
There's no way. Number one, we got to talk about how late these fights are on the East Coast.
Ridiculous, bro.
We didn't get
1
to the
a.m. was the
main
start
fight till
time.
one, bro. That was crazy.
That's insane, bro. I dang near wanted to sleep. And I was over my man's crib. He had his like kids, children now, and they were like, "Can y'all just leave?" I'm like, "No, no, no, no. We got the babies got to stay up or they got to go to sleep. Either way, the adults are gonna watch this fight, bro." And man,
Bro,
like it
if
was,
I did not force myself to be outside for it, there's
mhm.
no way I would have stayed awake.
Yeah, nah, nah.
If I
If
was
I
at the
was in the
crib
crib,
trying to watch that, it wasn't happening.
I'm done for it. But yeah, no, the fight itself,
I
amazing, bro.
loved it, bro.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like you see two tacticians, two brawlers, two dudes who can also box, can really do it all. Man, it's the best of the best, and I'm glad my man Terrence Crawford came out on top, bro. That's all you
Oh,
can wish for. Yeah,
yeah, Bud is different, bro. Like that gave me. I already had a lot of respect for Bud, but like to go up another weight class like that,
three.
three.
Three weight classes, man. To go from 147 to 168. He
That's
fought at
insane.
154 one time. I don't count that. For a
Okay, look.
147 pounder to go up 21 pounds. Yeah, ridiculous, bro. And to fight the best. He not fighting some like no name 168 pounder.
Right.
You find Canelo, the cash cow, you know what I mean? Really the king of boxing. So he's on a different level, bro.
Yeah,
Different level.
yeah, definitely the boxer of this generation now. Like there's not much people can say to him at this point. But it was a good fight. I enjoyed it, man. And I gotta say, Canelo could take a punch, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie, some of those that would have knocked the average person clean out.
For
Um,
sure.
there's a couple
For
times
sure.
in there I just was waiting on him to at least drop. Like for him to not have hit the mat at all, crazy.
It's crazy, man. His chin is crazy. Like, and shoot, he's fought bigger guys that couldn't touch him, couldn't knock him off his axis, not even a little bit. The fact that Crawford did that, given the fact that he went up in weight, is a testament to how great Terrence Crawford is, bro. He deserves all the flowers, and I hope he don't fight after this. I hate retiring dudes. Hope he don't fight. Just go out on top, bro. I love that arc for almost
Mm.
anybody, whether it's the fight game or music. And we'll talk about somebody in particular who continues to descend and still has a microphone or camera in his face trying to cope with the fact that things don't look the same for you. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my take. But that capped off my weekend, bro. That was top tier right
Yeah, bro,
there.
that was good, man. Shout out to Netflix for that one. I got to give it to him, man. That was an exciting moment, and yeah, it was a great fight. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to run that back just because of how much money it made.
Yeah,
I think it's hard not to at that point. I don't know if I need to see it again, but if it happens again, I'll be watching again. So, you know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
dope, man. We got a lot of hip hop to get to.
We do, man. A
Yeah,
lot has
man.
transpired.
A lot is going on, man. One thing that's not directly hip hop related, but we'll get it to where we get it into talking about hip hop within itself is Dame Dash.
Yeah,
Dame Dash recently, and as of the time of this recording, yesterday did an interview with the Breakfast Club, and it's gone viral once again. Now, if those who do not remember, years ago, one of the Breakfast Club's most popular interviews was another Dame Dash interview.
yeah.
Yeah, and that one was also Dame was also very disrespectful there as well. I think this is, it's so funny. You know who Dame Dash's personality reminds me of?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
like very similar dispositions, very similar just the way they project, like very similar communication style.
Mm.
Not trying to put him in that category with anything else, but just as far as communication, it's very similar to me. But Dame, except Dame is funnier. And I think this interview was also funny. There was a lot of back and forth between Charlamagne the God and Dame Dash. A lot of argument, a lot of insults, a lot of
Yeah.
accusations. What did
A
you
lot
think
of
about?
BS.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
just a lot of chaos. What were your thoughts watching that interview?
Bro, so I was one of those people that I went back to his interview with the Breakfast Club previously. What's ironic is it was 10 years ago, which is crazy because
Wow, that
time
was
flies.
10
I didn't
years ago.
realize
Wow.
that was 10 years ago. So like to even look at that Dame then, the last interview to now, bro, it's a complete 180. In a sense, we don't count other people's pockets. We don't dive into the like, the messy stuff. But just like from seeing him and the hearing the things that he's saying, bro, it's almost like a completely different person. It's almost like he's gone down or this place of dissension, bro. Because
And see, to me, to me, it seemed like he was stayed exactly the way he was.
I don't say that because probably because we know too much, or probably that there's been reported too many things reported about him.
Mm.
So to hear, like for me, based on that interview, that the previous interview, it motivated me to get my hustle up. I was like, what? Like, this is what ownership looks like, or this what it could feel like. Okay, cool. To now know the things that we know or that's been reported about him, and to then see that interview and look at this interview and say to yourself, 10 years later, you're acting the exact same. That to me is not a sign of growth. So in
Mm.
my mind, I'm like, that's dissension. That's like you're
Mm.
unevolving, if that's even a word. Let's pretend it is for now. But yeah, like your
And to me,
evolution hasn't taken place.
I would agree. I've always liked, as someone who else is also big on ownership and independence to a certain degree. I've always liked Dame Dash's messaging when it came to independence. Of course, he spews a lot of extremes, you know.
For sure.
Like on his last interview, saying calling a man boss is like calling a man daddy, like stuff like that is just very extreme, very
Yeah.
extra. But as far as his messaging about the importance of ownership and taking control of your career and its trajectory, I've always had a lot of respect and reverence for that element. Um, and yeah, I don't. I've read some of the stuff about his financial stuff, but I don't really get into that because at the end of the day, he got more money than me. So to me, I don't get that deep into the weeds with. I think he got more money than me. I would assume. You know what I mean? So I don't really get into that too much. But as far as his delivery style, that to me was a little disappointing. But I'm gonna be honest. While it was disappointing, I really do, by the way him and Charlamagne were going back and forth, I really feel like that was planned in order to get a viral moment. I think both of them knew what the agenda was, and both of them were just like, I'm
Mm.
going to push this all the way through. Because Charlamagne was even in rare form. That was Charlamagne from 10 years ago.
That was South Carolina, Charlemagne, for
Yeah,
real.
man.
Philadelphia.
When he said that that man should sign to Debt Jam, crazy. Crazy.
Dash, bro. Crazy.
That,
They knew
that-
what they was doing, bro.
Yeah, I think they both were looking for that viral, and they got it because it's definitely all over the place. But
Mm.
I will say this brings us to a deeper conversation about hip hop artists and owners, hip hop figures. Because Dame Dash isn't a hip hop artist, but he's a hip hop figure, a large one.
And a legend, really.
And a legend. For
Honestly.
those who do not know, he co-founded Rockefeller Records with Jay-Z. So huge artist who's been responsible for a lot of huge figures in hip hop, including Dipset. We might not get Dipset without him. We wouldn't get Kanye likely
Nope.
without Dame Dash. Dame Dash is the one who believed in Kanye when everybody else was shunning him. So to
Beans, freeway, state
free
property,
a
really.
property, yeah. He's responsible for the careers of a lot of artists. So definitely can't take that away from him. But what do you think about how I think I've been seeing a recurring thing of like some of the elders in hip hop still not they're not being growth. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
they're behaving just as ignorant as the young ones. Like when you 50, 60-year-old artist, what do you think about that?
No, I think it's to a detriment because, and I see why it is. I'm gonna be honest. I think because the media sphere is opened up, because there was once a time where journalism wasn't lit. Like that joint was not cool. You were the dude who wrote on a laptop or a desktop in a corner and wasn't experiencing the lifestyle or the culture you were very much writing or covering,
Hmm.
or writing about. So like I think that now that's opened up to you see athletes, rappers, like the fact that Fat Joe and Jadakiss have a podcast, which I enjoy actually when Joe isn't rambling, but which I enjoy, that wouldn't have happened years ago, right? So like I feel like the game has changed. They're looking for moments now, not only media figures, but now our own artists, like the people that we put up here when it comes to how we look at hip hop or just culture, pop culture at large. You know what I mean? So I think we see some of those attitudes shift, or we see a little moments of immaturity because they're trying to catch a moment, or if they're not even, in the media sphere, they're just trying to catch attention, grab attention. And so they feel like they have to resort to some of these other things, whether it's like online antics or,
Yeah.
whatever captures virality. I think that's why we're seeing that a lot from our hip hop, figures.
What do you
Yeah.
think? So, what do you think about the rappers slash rap moguls turned media personalities, quote unquote journalists? They're not actual journalists,
Mm.
but quote unquote journalists, media personalities, media figures. What do you think about that transition? Are there people who are the people that you think are doing that well versus some of the ones that you feel like are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there anybody who you like they made the transition well?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I think the top person who's done it the best, because they really done it on their own terms, and I feel like they haven't really jeopardized much, is Joe Button. I feel like that's like a prime example. I would say other people, like I said, I like Jada Kiss. In fact, Joe's platform, Nori, of course, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of some other people. Oh, Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak has a podcast.
I haven't tapped in with that one yet.
It's really good, man. So I think the
Mm.
people that have done it well, I have a difference in opinion as far as Cameron and Mace's platform, although I have nothing against it. I have like retort when it comes to people that are in that space claiming that they're journalists or the new era of journalists. And there has to be a distinction between being a media personality and a journalist because those are two completely different things. But as far as like overall, I like it. And the people I name, like those are the people I feel like that are doing it the best because they're authentically themselves. They're not jeopardizing nothing to do it. And they just having fun, bro. It's having fun. Like this that we're doing is
Yeah,
fun to me. I don't look at this as a journalistic arm of anything. It's just us talking music and being critical about that music, but it's
yeah.
dope nonetheless. Yeah.
I would agree to a certain degree. To a certain degree, I agree with that. I
Mm.
think that I do like. I think that it's cool. They've almost taken hip hop has almost taken like a sports route, which is like once you
Mm.
retire, you can now be a commentator on hip hop, which I think is interesting. I think it's compelling to hear their perspective and their stories. But I do think at the same token, I think it's also I think there's a piece of me that thinks it's a disservice because I would like to see us have more legacy acts that are still performing and doing music instead of just now you're the person talking about your peers. So I think that's kind of weird to me too on the other end. So I think that, on one side, I think it's entertaining. I think it's cool for us to hear their stories and their perspectives on hip hop. But at the same time, it's like you should be a legacy act. You know what I mean? You should be still touring and performing your old music. And some of them do both. Most of them, some of them do both. But yeah, I think a piece of me, I think it's a little strange that now like you were a rapper and now you're commentating on your peers. You know.
Yeah. I only take issue with it if they hating. Like if they're
Well,
if
well,
they're
here's the thing though. If you're giving
yeah.
your honest critique of music, you're going to.
You don't have to hate. You can be like,
You're,
when I
there-
say hater, I mean like bloviating in the sense, not being critical. Because at
oh,
that
okay.
notion, by definition, I would be a hater. And I'm not a hater. I just like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. But as far as like people bloviating or being exaggerative and being like, Brand, this whole generation ain't got nothing really on mine. Like that old man
Right.
mentality, like
Okay.
the
Yeah.
back in my day mentality, that's the only time I don't like it. But to your
Absolutely.
point, though, I would love to see more legacy acts. I would love to see more residencies, which we're going to talk about later. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, I also understand if an artist or a hip hop figure is like, well, I'm not getting much demand on that end. So what do I do? I can see why they would want to pivot, not necessarily the media space. That's not would be my first thought for them. But like if they decide, yo, that's what I want to do,
Yeah.
I applaud it low key.
Yeah, the ones who had a personality for it, I think it works. I think that
Yeah.
even some of the examples you gave, I think are prime examples of, people want to hear their perspectives and their stories and yeah, like I said, their perspectives I think are interesting. So yeah, but Dame, man, look, hilarious interview.
Hilarious, man. Viral. He got the moment he was, I think,
Oh
craving
yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. He has everybody now talking about you know what I mean, when people weren't, prior. So I think that I think it worked, and from what it seems like, he has some projects coming out that I'm sure now will get a little bit more attention because now he's in the algorithm. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're playing. I think everybody's playing the algorithm game at this point.
They are. He even mentioned that in the interview, and what's dope, it made me look back. It was at the very beginning of that interview, but to his credit, he made me look back at his rock band with Freeway because they got a new record out. So I tuned into it and I was like, yo, this is different. Dame Dash, Freeway, and one other artist
Oh
has
wow,
like this rock band and project out. And so if it
really?
weren't for that interview, to for all the mess that happened in between all that, it did make me tap into that. So maybe we'll do a review. I don't think we should. But like, you know what I mean? Maybe it stirs other people to like look and support that type
Yeah,
of endeavor among the other ones he has going on. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah,
For sure, man. So shout out Dan, shout out Breakfast Club. Y'all gave me my laughs for the day. I'm not gonna lie.
for the
That
week, really.
week, man. Damn,
Yeah.
what did Dave Dash tell him? He said Wendy Williams is your OG. That was boy. Oh God, Wendy Williams is your OG is hilarious, boy. That's
Yo,
funny.
that's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, it's a moment there. All right, transitioning into other things that are
Mm.
random in hip hop. Ice Spice and Latto dropped a new
Yeah, man.
song, man, and video. Called Got. I don't know how you
Hmm.
pronounce it.
Yeah. That's how
Got.
you
There
say.
we go. There you go. There we go.
Yeah,
There we
man.
go. I
And
appreciate you
you
doing it so I didn't have to.
and you saw the video, right?
Absolutely. I watched it on mute.
He said, he said absolutely on mute. I was gonna ask, did you say the title of the song
I like
throughout the
the
video?
video a lot more than I like the song. Sure.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course.
No, but the song was cool. I wasn't.
It was cool.
The song was better than I expected it to be.
Hmm.
Um, I I I know Lotto can rap for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Lotto can rap. I don't listen to Lotto because her subject matter doesn't resonate with me, but I know that she can rap. And I think that
Hmm.
there's a lot of artists like that would have fall into that pocket. She's definitely probably at the head of the pack of the artists who I can recognize that they have a dope rap voice. They can rap. They
Yeah.
lyrically are good and gifted. But I don't really want to hear what you rapping about, so I just don't really listen to it. And she's one on the top of that list for me. Ice Spice, I didn't. You know what? She hung in there better than I expected her to. Her verse was all right,
Mhm.
so I honestly was not mad at it. I think it's a fun record that I'm sure will go off in
Yeah.
clubs. Video was hard.
Mm. Mm. I'm glad you feel these things. I do not. Okay, I do not. I think this. Nah. I think the
I'm the
song.
positive one today, man. All right.
Listen, I think the song was I think it was a strong right? And the reason being is because if Lotto was single-handedly on the song would be so much better. What did Ice Spice add to the song? I would argue nothing. Why? Because Lotto is flowing on this joint. First of all, the beat is hard, the production is solid. She sounds very clear. Like I'm thinking about the technicality of the joint, like the
Yeah.
mixing is fire. And I feel like if this song was actually released 3 months earlier, I think it would be like a summer joint. Like it would be a
Oh, absolutely.
DJ's like maybe go to. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I just felt like Ice Spice was lazily on here. Now, I will say I'm not a big Ice Spice guy. You know what I mean? I
I'm not
think
either. I'm not either, but I felt like this verse was above average for her.
yeah, but if it's at the bottom, like I mean, how many levels above is it going for
I
me?
mean, but if you go from 0 to 3,
It's an improvement, yes. But if
so
the
it, but
scale's
it
a
make but
hundred,
it makes it look like it's crazier than it is. Like if you know what I mean. I don't know. I feel like you got to grade some people on the curve.
I never thought in this podcast ever that you would defend Ice Spice. That is not. uh,
I'm not
I never
defending
saw that.
Ice Spice. I'm just saying I've heard her rap way worse than this, is what I'm
Way
saying.
worse.
Way
Yes.
worse. This was
Yeah.
an improvement. You know, sometimes you got to give people the best and most improved player. That don't mean that they were dropping 40. They were the most
Yeah.
improved. You know what I mean? They might have went from scoring 2 points to seven. You know what I'm saying? It's still, you still improved.
Hey, listen.
That's all I got, man. I'm trying.
The
I'm
song will
trying.
never be played
What
for me
about?
ever again.
I'm
All
never
right.
playing it again either. But the video,
Yeah.
I
Hilarious.
thought the video was hard.
Yeah, man.
They did the,
Overall,
the
bro.
boxing ring thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Overall, I would like to
Bring
see
videos
him.
back, man. Bring different videos back. Getting creative.
I wonder why, because like in this pod, you will be the person to like listen to the song, but also check if there's a video. I almost never check for videos, like ever. Like
So,
unless it's like a Kendrick, Cole, Drake level artist, or yeah, I don't really check for videos. I don't know why. When did that stop? Did that stop at the music countdown, like video countdown
so
era?
there's a gap of where I stopped watching music videos, and it was definitely after 106 and Park died. I feel like there was a
Mm,
gap between
yeah,
there and then I don't know. There was like there was definitely a strong period when I stopped. I think the only reason why I started back is because I consume YouTube on my TV. So I think that
yeah,
you watching
same.
stuff on YouTube, like interviews and stuff. Sometimes I when usually if it's somebody who's in my algorithm and a video drops, I'm gonna watch the video on TV. So I think that that's the
Mm,
only reason why I kind of have gotten back into it. And I,
yeah,
I like I like have I like music videos in general. I'm a more visual person with it. So if there's a video that's attached to a song, I'm especially when it's a song because I would have never clicked on outside of for the podcast. If I just saw that as a song.
yeah,
Lotto and Ice Spice, there's no way I'm clicking on that audio. Like, there's no way. There's no
yeah,
there's no way that I'm gonna intentionally go and listen to that. But
yeah.
if there's a video,
Okay.
all right, maybe you know what? Let me see. I'm just curious of what this video could look like.
Yeah,
I mean,
and based on what it was like, I haven't seen the video, so I can only envision or
nice
imagine.
video.
Yeah, 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 nice. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure the subjects is what elevated it.
It,
But
it,
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it was it's a boxing themed video.
yeah. You wasn't looking at no combinations. I
Yes,
can
I
say
was, man. I
that.
was looking at the way it was shot, the angle. Come on, it's a good video.
Angles for sure.
Yeah,
But
angles.
yeah, man. Overall, bro, as someone who only heard this in his headphones on the way from work to this
Oh,
pod,
see, that's okay. Well, then that's go back and watch the video. Next episode, I want you'll probably have liked. See, I watched the video the first time I heard it. You probably will like it better,
that would
and it's
change my
funnier. It's more
perception.
comedic. You get their personalities is in it a little more. I feel like it'll be better if I had just listened to this audio. I might
Ugh.
have hated it too, to be honest.
I just thought of the last music video that featured like a woman artist. This can't or a woman MC. I almost want to say I'm 100% wrong, but this is the first one to come to mind, bro. You remember Five Star Chick remix with Yo Gotti, Nicki Minaj, bro?
You're not about to tell me that's your last music video that you
15 years ago, bro. That's probably
know. That
that's
song
probably the
is
last one, bro.
old. What?
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like that's the last one to come. No, that can't be right.
No way,
I definitely
because
saw it.
everybody
Nah,
watched the video for WAP. I feel like that one was big. Where it
I
was
ain't
like,
watched that one. Nah.
what about
Mm.
I feel like Lotto has had a couple cool videos that was like
Bro,
decent.
I saw one. No, I saw one with her and some cats. I said, nah, I'm not
Okay,
watching
I
none of her
wouldn't have
videos.
clicked. I wouldn't have clicked on that either.
Yo, oh, I know the last one I saw, like that I watched straight through on purpose. It was Nicki Minaj's Anaconda.
Bro,
Yeah.
but that's 20 years ago, bro. Not
Like, bro,
that's
we
a
talking years,
long. I
bro.
feel like I was in high school when that came out. That's an old song.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
I've
like
been out
music
the loop.
video, but I always been a music video person.
Yeah.
I'm a
I
music.
used to be. I feel like when it was like force fed to me, I was like into it more. Like the sucker free Sundays, bro, on MTV, 106 and Park, we already know I wasn't a TRL guy. But like as far as the
Yeah, I
people I
wasn't.
know, that was big for them too. Yeah, man, I miss that
Yeah,
era low
TRL,
key.
I used to click on it. TRL is one of those ones that I'll, skim through and see what's on there and, flip
Hmm.
back and forth between it. But I definitely was more of a BT jams, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Watch music videos. I even just recently, I think, maybe in the last couple weeks, I saw, what was the music video? I just watched some, the JID and Clips got a video out for
Oh, they do for
Community.
community. Oh,
Fire.
okay.
Then we
Uh.
JID Bodies that with Offset music video hard. Like it's some hard music videos. There's some artists
Mm.
who are still putting effort into music videos.
Yeah, versus just
But
having a
definitely watch the
green
Community
screen.
one. The Community one is fire. Like watch that
Yeah.
one. I think there's some of them who are still like really getting artistic with their music video. There's other ones who just me in front of a car with some money like that. I'm not clicking on those
Yeah.
videos.
And I'm glad that era is dead, bro. Like I feel like people are actually making films, like mini shorts out of these. Like So Be It, that felt like a
Yeah, that was
mini
hard.
movie. You know what I'm saying?
And,
Yeah,
and I
like
think a big thing. I also the reason why I think that they're doing that is because the barrier of entry for this for video production has gotten a lot cheaper
way cheaper. Yeah.
compared to like back in the day people had $1 million music video budgets. You know what I
Crazy. And they
mean?
were
Like
having what's his name, bro?
Hype Williams was shooting
Hype
everything.
Williams. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think now it just doesn't cost that much to shoot a music video.
Mm.
You get a couple cameramen there, some good lighting, and you can rock out. So I think it's also cheaper to shoot a music video now than it was in prior generations.
Yeah. Which, and people are taking full advantage of it.
There's some dope music videos that have been shot on iPhones.
There are films that have been shot on iPhones. I just watched one in the theaters like 2 months ago. It was
Really?
28 years later. It was shot on iPhone. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so it's next level technology they working with now. And I feel like the flexibility with that, like, is making them now. What is interesting to me though is the music, the songs in which these artists choose for videos. I don't feel like lands all the time, which is interesting.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
I would agree there.
Yeah.
I just think people are
Yeah.
choosing bad singles in general today.
In general, yeah, there's an art to it, and I feel like the A&Rs, the people that were at these labels that actually invested in
Yeah.
the initial single, where they're not there anymore, and you can tell.
Absolutely. Yeah, that A&Ring being gone is very, very, very apparent. Like it's very clear
Yeah,
that people are not being yeah, that there aren't people there who are helping make those decisions. At least not good people.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, dope, man. We split on this. Who would have think that I would be on this podcast defending Lotto and Ice Spice? Man.
Yo, let me check outside. There gotta be like hell is frozen over. Or something. I don't know. Never expected it, man. But we're here. We're here. Somebody got to do it. You know
Somebody
what
got to
I'm
do it, man. I look. We don't got a woman on the podcast, so I got to try to be a
saying?
little fair.
Yeah,
All right.
man.
Speaking of songs, man, on the last episode, we actually made a plea, if you will, for
Hmm.
no pun intended. We made a plea for Young Thug to more so put his life and everything that he's gone through into music instead of talking about it on podcasts and on social media on Twitter and Instagram and all that. We were like, man, put your pain in your music, and that was for all artists, but we were just referencing Young Thug at the moment. But really, we want to see more artists express themselves via that platform. Well, Young Thug did so.
He did it.
He did so. He recently released a joint called "Miss My Dogs," where he really is really an apology and almost confessional style record, where he's talking about all of the things that he's recently gone through from his relationship to
Hmm.
friendships. What were your thoughts listening to this?
Man, this joint is fire, bro. Initially, though, I was kind of taken aback because like this isn't traditionally like a thug sound, especially at the beginning. So I'm hearing like this male vocalist, right? And like really stirring this track up, building it up. It sounded very like cinematic. And so I'm like, okay, like is this Thug himself? Is this another singer? Okay, cool. But I was immediately drawn in. And then as he dives into like his the bars, really he's really diving into the relationships he has with people. He's apologizing, he's reflecting on relationships that are lost and the ones that he still has or has recently repaired. You know what I mean? And I think Thug really did his thing on this, bro. This surprised me. I feel like maybe not last pod, but maybe some pods ago we talked about Young Thug and about his ability to really try to create records like this. And this surprised me, bro. I didn't think he could do this. I didn't think that he could
Mm.
do this and it could work. I didn't think that this worked until I listened to it like in full for the second, third time. I was like, bro, he really did this, man. Like, not only was he vulnerable and saying like some of the things that he said on that podcast with Banks, right? Like that went viral and really, became memeified based on some of the moments in it, right? But when you look deeply at the interview, you listen deeply to this song, you really see the pain, feel the pain that he really has about everything that's transpired, bro. At one point, his life could have been behind bars. He's freed, and now, even with him being, free, quote unquote, he still feels constraint. And I think that was like something that really cut through on this record. Miss My Dogs, man. This was a beautiful song, and again, a song I did not expect for Thug to land, but he landed it, bro.
And I would agree, right? I second everything you said there. I think that it was a heartfelt record. You could really feel the pain and emotion through it. I think that it was a great way of him really telling his story through the song. I think it seemed it came across as honest. It came across as transparent. Um, Sonically, it was good. I thought that I really liked it. I think that shockingly enough, and I'm sure maybe once he, it probably, I'm sure he's always expressed his influence from Lil Wayne.
Mm,
Um, and it does remind me of Miss My Dogs by Lil Wayne.
yeah,
Similar, not necessarily musically, but just a similar emotion or feeling
yeah.
that I would get from that record. So, and I love Miss My Dogs. Not to say that this is on par with Miss My Dogs from Wayne. That's Wayne, one of my favorite Wayne records ever. But
Yeah.
I think that definitely gave me a similar feeling. I would say that this is good, man. If he's gonna go in this direction more, which I think he should for his project, I think it's gonna be dope. I think that this is where he should lean. Of course, throw the little club records on there and whatnot too, but
Hmm.
more of this, I think that he has the opportunity to put out a really good project if it sounds more like this.
For sure. For sure. And I would love to hear that. It would be a big change of pace for Thug. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite Thug records is So Much Fun. Like because it literally feels like, what I mean, he was just in that space. But everything that's transpired right now, I think we need, and he may need something with a lot more substance, something that really sticks to the bones, in a place where he can really get his emotions, thoughts, everything out there, and for us to absorb it. So yeah, and I think people should get behind this, bro. Like, of course, they want, the Thug that they're used to. It's not on this record, but I think this record deserves just more eyeballs, more attention, more listening ears because it's dope. One, but two, I think we need to push artists of that ilk to really make more music like this, bro. And I think that's what's missing from Atlanta, let alone like Thug's catalog. Like this is fire.
Yeah, I agree, man. Shout out Thug. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to the Thug project, honestly, before this.
Mm.
Now I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing what his project will sound like. So, yeah, shout out Thug. Man, speaking of rappers who I feel like don't get the credit they deserve. On this show I talk a lot about Rhapsody.
Yeah,
Rhapsody to me is is a generational talent. I think that Rhapsody is I don't often mention her when we talk about just women in hip hop because I I look at Rhapsody like one of the dopest MCs out right now across the board.
yeah,
She has a very unique sound, a very unique style. She always has something to say. She don't really have any just meaningless records, really.
yeah.
You really don't hear meaningless records from Rhapsody. She has clearly chosen to walk the same path that some of the greats who came before her walked, which is I'm going to use hip hop to really say something, and that's it.
Hmm.
I'm not using this to make fun party records like a Talib Kweli, like a Most Def, where they've dedicated their careers to just making more thought provoking music. So, um, that being said, she gave us a little two piece. We didn't get a full album, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
She gave us a little two piece with Mad Lib, called Mad Raps. Dope name,
Yeah.
for a project. I got excited when I saw that Mad Lib and Rhapsody were doing a project together. I thought it was gonna be a full album. When I opened it and saw two songs, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts, man, on these two tracks?
Bro, this is dope. This is dope. As someone who hasn't heard Rap City in a while, I'm like, this is what I've been missing. Like, this is what I've been missing. Oh yeah, I need to dive back into that catalog, bro. Like, this is phenomenal, dog. And the beautiful thing about it is, I can tell she was just having fun. Like, I know
Yeah,
this isn't even
this
peak Rhapsody.
no, this is like for
This
sure.
is like it was almost like she was freestyling, but it was so potent, it was so crazy. Like as she goes from bar to bar, I'm like, oh, you toying with us right now.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Madlib did his thing on this 2-pack. The instrumentation, just the beats, everything is just fire, and it overlaid Rhapsody's voice so well. And she has that like punchy voice where like when you hear her, you know it's her. And
Absolutely.
so I'm listening to Daddy's Girl and Avon Through the Wire, like these two records off this joint, and I'm like, not only is she having fun, she has some things to say too. She talked about everything from Palestine-Israeli conflict in Gaza, right? She talked
Yeah.
about yay, like the
Yeah.
man to not speak of, right, in hip hop and say, yo, we don't F with Hitler. Like, I don't know what type of time you on, but we not on that. On to the next. You know what I mean? And she's just flowing, bro. And then on the second one, Avon Through the Wire, she's rapping from like using AI, I assume,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah. For the
mean?
voice.
To speak in a male's perspective, right? And I thought that was kind of dope. I think
I
if you're
did
going to
too.
use AI generated voices, I would want to kind of see it in that way rather than the way that Drake tried to do it when he was like, for his Kendrick thing, he was crying, like channeling Snoop and Tupac. I thought that was corny. But
Yeah,
like
but
for this was fire.
and I like that she is funny enough on a professor end. She did what we make students do. If you use it, say you used it.
Mm
And that
hmm.
is
Yeah.
exactly what she did here. You know what I mean? She started off the track like, you know what, I'm gonna use the little AI for the male voice. You know what I mean?
Mm
And proceeded to use it, which I thought was a dope way of utilizing it, especially if you want to do a more a record where you're rapping from different perspectives like that. I thought it was dope.
hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest, that might sound hypocritical because I did not like it when Drake used it, and he used it
Mm hmm.
also to speak from somebody else's perspective. But I don't want to hear Drake talk from the perspective of Tupac ever in life. You know what I
Never.
mean? As somebody who has a high reverence for Tupac, I actually had a student who presented on um, Tupac's joint Brenda's Got a Baby today in class.
Mm.
It still had the same emotional reaction from students almost what 30 years later. You know, so I hold Tupac in a high regard, and yeah, so that's my bias. You know what I mean? Yes, I think Rhapsody could do it, and I ain't like the way Drake did it. Yeah, I mean it is what it is.
I'll
But
hold that.
I'll
I'll
hold
take
that.
the
I will
thorns,
hold.
bro.
I will hold that one. It is what it is. But I thought this was dope, man. I enjoyed both of these records. Um, like I said, Rhapsody don't really rap if she don't have nothing to say. She said a lot of important stuff, especially in that Daddy's Girl, man. She was talking.
She was, yeah, going crazy. She
Yeah,
said, I already got one Grammy. I'm looking for four more. Let's do it.
yeah, let's do it, man. And man, you know, Rhapsody has a dope catalog, and I think that that's another
Hmm.
thing that stands her apart. Like, Please Don't Cry, which was her last full release, I believe, was dope. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A dope record. Her joint before that, Eve, was dope. Like, so she's been, you know, she's been on the run. She puts time into her projects. She's not just throwing out stuff just because. So, yeah, man. Shout out, Rhapsody, man. If you haven't listened to these two tracks, I highly recommend it. Um, yeah, dope.
Yeah, dope. Fire, man.
Yeah,
Fire.
fire, man. Shout out to Rhapsody, man. Um, Nice Nonsense. Is that next? Oh
Or
no.
Jeezy.
Yeah, we got Jeezy to get through. I'm tripping.
We got a classic jump.
I cannot forget the album review we have today. I'm actually really excited to review this, man. You know, I am a huge
Huge.
fan of Jeezy's music, man. Jeezy's music, and I know what you all could be thinking. As somebody who was such a large advocate for conscious rap music, me being a large fan of somebody who makes drug dealer music or what people would coin to be drug dealer music would go against the grain. Touche. But what I will say is, to me, Jeezy's music was hustle music that is
Yes.
relatable to everything else. He speaks about his past life as a drug dealer differently. He speaks about it in a way that is applicable to anything in your life. He speaks about hustle, grind, getting to
Hmm.
it. He makes go-getter music. And I think that that's why I've always gravitated to Jeezy's music is because He's created hustle soundtracks. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
That of course for the everyday person who's not doing what he's talking about in these songs, you apply the lyrics that he says because of the way he words it
Mm-hmm.
in a way that applies to your life. You know what I mean? Prime
For
example,
sure.
Rick Ross does the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Same exact
You
thing.
hear every day I'm hustling. That's a lot of people's anthem. You not you apply that to whatever your hustle is. You know what I mean? And a lot
Exactly.
of people do that with hip hop. It's you apply their stories or some of their sentiments into where they fit into your life. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I've always been a Jeezy fan. Jeezy just always made dope hustle music to me, and I think that we have to cover a classic, man. And
Yeah.
that classic record is none other than Let's Get It Thug Motivation 101. Now, the reason why we're covering this specifically is
Mm-hmm.
outside of it just being a classic, Jeezy just announced that he is doing a residency in Las Vegas.
Huge, bro.
Huge,
Huge.
huge, 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 huge. There aren't that many hip hop acts who get residencies in Vegas
Mm.
in general.
Very few. Very few.
Very few.
And
Uh,
only one comes to mind.
who?
Wu
Nas?
Tang.
Wu Tang. Did Nas do
Yeah.
it? Or did I
I
make
don't
that
think
up? I
so,
might
but
have
he
made
was
that
doing
up.
that orchestra thing.
He
He's been
that's what
doing
he was
that too.
doing. And Jeezy recently started doing that orchestra,
Mm-hmm.
performing his albums with an orchestra accompanying. And I think that that kind of set the precedent for him being able to do this type of formatted show.
Yeah.
And I think, man, I think it's gonna do numbers.
Going. I
For
think it's
those,
gonna
for
go
those who've never went to
crazy.
Vegas for vacation,
Yeah.
a lot of black people. All right,
A
I
lot.
just want
A
to go ahead
lot.
and just set the table for those who've never really went to
Yeah.
Vegas and kicked it in Vegas. Um, there's a lot of black people. That's their go-to spot, and I think that now Jeezy is going to be the destination to go to. You know,
Yeah, I
especially
think
for our
so.
generation, like who grew up
Yeah.
listening to Jeezy's music.
Mm-hmm. No
Um,
facts.
yeah. So shout out Jeezy for that. Before we even get into reviewing the album, shout out Jeezy for getting that residency. I am going to make a conscious effort to try to get to Vegas for
Oh, for sure. I think I'll try to go. Got to,
it.
depending on these days. A lot of big artists got upcoming tours, but yeah, for that one, I gotta try. I gotta at least try.
I'm definitely gonna try. But man, let's get into it, man. Thug Motivation 101. First of all, when did you first hear this?
I first heard this. Shoot, I was just a kid, and I want to say it was BT 106 in Park. I feel like
Mhm.
that's the first time I heard Soul Survivor.
Yep.
What other joint off of this, man? Definitely didn't hear Trap or Die off there. I don't think I don't think that was a 106 in Park joint. But Soul
Yeah.
Survivor definitely was. And that's the first time I heard Jeezy ever. And at that time, he was my favorite rapper. It was Jeezy and
Really?
Cassidy. Those two
Mm.
artists were my favorite because their music reminded me of, like those winter hats that had the bill on it. That's what that era reminded me of, bruh. The cap or the fitted capped winter hat. That was that
You
moment,
know
and
what? That
Nike boots,
was
of
that
course.
era. That was a nasty era, but I remember
Nasty, nasty.
the
Had the
Scully with
squirrel
the brim
fur.
on it.
Yeah, bro, with the
I
brim.
remember
Had
that.
had the squirrel furred coat, winter
The
coat. It just
squirrel
reminded me of
fur, possum
that.
fur on the brim of the hood.
Yeah, I mean, some type of rodent on that joint. This was that era, man.
Yes, it
So
was.
for me, this is the memories. Like I think of music in phases, bro. Like, and this phase for me was like, yo, I'm just beginning to understand what this genre that I like so much, what it truly is, and what artists are standing out for me. And at that time, like I said, it was Cassidy, but it was Jeezy, man. It
Yeah.
was Jeezy. So yeah,
Same, man. Jeezy, I found Jeezy's music actually also from Soul Survivor. I remember when I first heard this, um, Soul Survivor with him and Akon was really my introduction to Jeezy. And I also believe it was the music video on 106 and Park, crazy enough.
yeah,
Um, yeah, man, and that phase of my life, man, I just remember the big 2XL white tees, man, and the do-rag,
yeah.
the match. I got in trouble for wearing that snowman shirt. So I mean,
Yeah.
that era was just different, man. And I think that um yeah, just was a different sound. I remember them even bringing in the TVs to show us My President is Black.
Oh wow, yeah,
That drop.
wow.
Yeah, I remember that too. So yeah, it was and that was a shoot. I was what I was in high school. Well, high school,
Dang,
middle school. Maybe
that
middle.
had to have been middle school. Oh
Yeah,
08, oh
no,
nine.
that's middle school.
Yeah,
The
that's
president is
crazy.
black. Well, I was in high school though.
Oh,
Obama's
okay.
first term is when?
Oh wait.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so he would have been running right before I went to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's crazy. All right. I was about to say what this is Chicago public schools? Because they ain't do that at my school. I mean, I went to Columbus public school, but they wasn't rolling in. Hey, yo, check out this
Bro,
Jeezy. Like,
nah, bro. And I'm
I
gonna be
wish
honest,
my teacher
bro.
did that.
Literally, they rolled in the TV to show us my president is black, man. Yeah, this is not even the Chicago part. This is South suburban Chicago. South suburbs is very, very black. So even by the time I
Yeah.
moved to the South suburbs from the South side, it was still extremely black. So yeah,
Hmm.
they definitely did some more unorthodox practices. And
Yo,
honestly, that's
Miss
not even appropriate. Why are you rolling it out for people who are not old enough to vote anyway? To be honest, like why? Like we weren't even old enough to vote.
Mrs. Purnell, why didn't you do that for us, bruh? Like that, that's my whole thing. Why I wanted to see Jeezy, that could have been a moment.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
I had a student in my English. I had a teacher in my English class, and shoot, this must have been yeah, this is middle school, probably seventh grade, who even like had to let us break down like song lyrics for some of the activities. Like
Oh
we had to do.
wow.
I remember she had to do "Juicy" by Notorious B.I.G. and like
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, they definitely. I'll give some teachers try to put a little sauce in the curriculum for sure.
Yeah, they know how to reach students. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to make
So
us pay
yeah.
attention, they know they got to do little stuff like that to make us like, oh, okay, let me pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah. Like anytime I'm at Westchester doing like eye camp for the summer, I offer them food. That gets them going.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, bet. All right, Mr.
Food and
Hopkins.
music, man, is gonna get kids every time.
Yeah, every time. Y'all are some easy licks. I'll tell you that.
That's a
Yeah.
that is a fact. They rolled that TV in there. I didn't know who Barack Obama was. You know what I mean? I was just like, all right, cool. This is what we're doing. Like,
Yo, insane. But
yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, man. But getting into this project, man, like I said, my first introduction was Soul Survivor. Dope.
dope.
Dope record that I've always loved. I still go back to that record sometimes just because I've always liked it. Um, definitely just another motivational song. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like I said, it's a record that's applicable to everything. Anybody who's ever
Everything.
made it through something and survived something, which is everybody. Everybody is gonna go through something in this life.
For
So
sure.
yeah, if you haven't, it's coming soon. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's just the way life goes. So I think that's a
Buckle
record.
up.
Buckle up! It's coming soon. It's around the corner
Yeah.
if you
Hmm.
haven't yet. So Soul Survivor is one of those records to help you get through those type of situations. Always love that
Hmm.
record. One of my favorite joints on here, Bottom of the Map.
Yeah.
Always love that song.
Fire.
Always love hard,
Yeah.
hard, man. Standing Ovation, another record I've always loved.
I love that joint.
Let's Get It, Sky's the Limit, another one I've always loved. Um, Trap or Die, of course.
Of course.
Air Forces. You know what I mean? There's a lot of records on here that are really hard to meet. Are there some skippable records on here that I personally skip for sure?
Of course.
But
Yeah.
not many. Not
Not that
many.
many for me though. Not
Probably
that many
three.
either.
Probably three to four. It's 19 songs on here though, so it's maybe four. It might be four records on here that I consistently skip if I go back to this project. But out of 19, that ain't
That's
bad.
that's a great clip
That's a great clip. This
because
is an hour and
album,
17 minutes.
yeah, I mean, hour and 17. We don't have albums like that anymore. And if we do, people aren't really grasping them or like
Only person
really
putting out
flocking to them.
albums this long is Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's it. And we know why he's doing it. Like, not that he needs it, but them streaming numbers go stupid. You know what I
Oh
mean? But yeah, yeah. So that's a great clip for an album of this magnitude, bro. I think this is a classic album among many classics. I actually think Jeezy has. Um, yeah, like this goes without saying. Like I could
yeah.
go down a list, but I just implore all of y'all to just listen to this, bro. It will transport you into 2004, 2005. And
Absolutely.
again, you will go on Amazon, search for that winter hat with the brim, and transform
What do you
into the
even call that?
snowman.
What is the name of that hat, bro? Like you know how hats have names, there's snapbacks, there's
Yeah.
caps. What is that? I mean, no, that hat doesn't even have a name. The Scully with the brim on it was a
Yes.
wild, and I had them in every color too. I was mad. I had a black one, a blue one, a
Oh my
red one.
God.
Crazy times, bro.
Dog. And now in any hood in America, you'll see him at a gas station at the top, right above the more bars or whatever, the cigarettes, bro. I swear. I swear to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. disgusting
Yeah.
era, but for music's sake,
Fashion wise,
beautiful
it was
time.
a nasty era. But the crazy thing is, everybody's starting to go back to dressing like this. So
They are, bro. I have like these pants that I have on right now are three times the pant size that I usually would wear. But that's the era now. We going, bro. It's all cyclical, right? Like
yeah,
I pray we don't go with the legging fitted jeans again. But who knows? In 20 years, folks will be wearing that, bro, and
be
cutting off
right,
the circulation in their legs again.
be right back to it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I
100%.
missed the baggy era a little bit, so I'm kind of glad.
I'm glad too, bro. Number one, it's more comfortable. Can we just talk about comfort? I
It's
know we're getting
absolutely more.
older and our uncles and stuff, they be wearing like orthopedics and stuff. Oh, it's comfort. No, fashion forward comfort. That's what era we in right now.
Absolutely, man. And my girl just got me a amazing gift. You know what she got me?
What?
A Coogee sweater, a fire one too.
Yo.
I can't wait to bust it out, man. I,
Yeah. It's already starting. The fall weather's already here.
man, it was perfect timing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. So all the old stuff is coming back, And it's crazy that we're getting to an age where like we're seeing the stuff we grew up on be retro. It's kind of wild.
It is wild.
Like I
It
have
is
students
wild.
now wearing stuff that I'm like, I wore that exact same thing.
Crazy. I can show you pictures actually of me
Yes.
wearing it.
I remember
Yeah.
when Dunks first came back and everybody started going crazy about Dunks. I was like, I was wearing them in high school.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
early high school, like freshman, sophomore year. So I was like, I got pictures wearing the exact same ones you got on. It's kind of wild.
Crazy. Crazy,
Yeah,
man. But that's
everything.
what time we in.
Yeah, that's the time we in, but man. But this look, classic album, man. And like I said, man, there are a lot of the music that people that gets a bad rep for glorifying street culture, and specifically in the case of Jeezy
Hmm.
glorifying drug dealing. I I implore you to listen to the full albums.
Hmm.
Because I don't believe because Jeezy also talks about all of the negatives that come along with selling drugs. He
He
talks about his
does.
friends getting incarcerated. He talks about some of his friends being murdered. He talks about facing the feds. He talks about all of the negative things that came to his life from doing it as well. So yeah, you can take from it if you just point out a couple of songs from there that sound more fun and where they talk about all the money he made from it. You also have to make sure you're listening to the full project where he's talking about, Soul Survivor being a prime example of,
So yeah, prime example.
it is a prime example of talking about the negative things that come along with it as well. So, yeah, I would say, if you're talking about it in its totality, I don't have a problem with it. Just paint the full
Mhm.
picture.
Just paint the full picture. That's why I like on Future's last project. I want to say it was Mixtape Pluto, and he talks about that. He talks about his man's. I think it was Rich Homie
Yeah,
Quad. I think that's who he was referring to. Odin, based on like you know what I mean, what we know of right, and him diving into that. That's the first time I ever heard him talk about the negative. Really dive into it though,
yeah,
not just skate past it. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Because he's usually the reference I give of somebody who glorifies a negative behavior.
Without showing the full picture. And
Oh,
so,
absolutely. He usually
what
never
can a
does.
person learn from? Like, they can't learn nothing from you. Like,
His is
even if
just
you are delving into that world, like, I need to be able to get the full scope. So
his
I
lyrics are
know,
just I'm abusing substances and I'm having a good time.
yeah, and I got all these women, I got all these riches. Okay,
Yeah, it's
bro.
complete glorification. Now, so when he did have that one little glimmer of hope there,
Yeah,
and talking about it in a negative element, I was like, okay, there we go. You gotta take what you can get. I wish he would do it more.
yeah,
And but yeah, I say as long as you're painting the whole picture for me, you know what I mean. If you're gonna talk about your youth battling addictions, then talk about the negative element of that. Talk about all the family who disowned you because of that. Talk about
right,
all the things you did to people during those phases. You know what I mean? Talk about
for
the
sure.
whole thing. You know what I mean? Jay Z, I said the same thing about. Jay Z also gets a bad rep for it, but I'm like Jay Z has songs that are literally him talking about how it almost destroyed his life. You know what I mean?
Literally. Or
You
where
know,
he was pinned against his own brother for reasons. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, well,
like,
he even tells a story about shooting his own brother in a song. You know what I mean? It's he paints the full picture if you listen to the actual projects. If you're just taking a
yes,
single and you judging the artist, this guy, that's my biggest problem with critiques that come about hip hop. A lot of times you're taking the single, which usually the artist didn't even choose,
right.
and you're you're demonizing them based on a song and not their actual catalog or projects. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's an irresponsible review. As a reviewer of music, bro, I'm not going to take one small sample size and then have a general consensus about a singular artist. I think that's idiotic. You know what I'm
And
saying? Like,
what you
yeah.
should do is who y'all should be criticizing is the record labels who decided to put out that one detrimental song as the single instead of any of the ones that were more introspective.
Yeah. And I'll blame them for strolling out all these viral internet stars, put a microphone and put them in a booth, and then told you, convinced you that they were artists to listen to. No.
And this is something that we discuss in Raps of Resistance, which is coming soon.
Yes.
Which look good segue into a shameless plug. Raps of Resistance, our book on hip hop, and socially conscious hip hop specifically, with the framework of discussing the contributions of J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. Make sure that you pre-order that now,
Yes.
bloomsbury.com. Also on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere books are sold. It's available for pre-order. And yeah, man, drops May 14th. Make sure
Yes,
that y'all
sir.
cop that, man. We discuss a lot of these things that we discuss on this show. This show really gives us an avenue to talk about some of those things that are also found in the book. So
For sure.
yeah,
For
dope,
sure.
dope, man. Hidden hits.
Hitting hits, man. I got a couple offhand, bro. So
All
I
right, what you
I
got?
stumbled upon this artist, man. This artist has been out for a while. Called Paper Stacks. Now I know the name. You might be like, okay, I'm not really that interested. But I was listening to this album, man. Hold on, let me go back to it, bro. You got a couple records off of this joint that I really, really enjoy. The album is called Keep When. It actually dropped last May. But a song I think everybody should tune into. It's called God's Favorite. Dope record. This entire record, this entire album, it's absolutely fire. It's that motivational
Mm,
music that we were referring to, but it's also really reflective of Paper Sacks' like upbringing, just like him traversing through life. Another record I would recommend is Shake. That's a fun record, but a more introspective or just dope record to listen to. It's called Rooftop No More Topangas, man. Yeah, random. I stumbled upon it randomly. But I think it's a worthy listen. One last one I got for you, bro,
hmm
is YG Tut. Another artist, bro, I stumbled
mm.
upon, and based on his image in Spotify, this dude looks like he golfs on the weekends, which doesn't mean you can't make great art. I'm just saying, I didn't know who this mother effer was, right? But I'm glad I stumbled upon him. The album that I was listening to is Pick Up the Phone. And the song I would recommend is Uncle Elroy, the intro, and Explosive, the second track off of Pick Up the Phone by YG Tut, man. This is
Mm.
dope music that you should tune into, some hidden hits that
Okay.
you'll certainly enjoy. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I got to check out some of those. Most of those I have not heard of. So yeah, I got some
Yeah.
stuff to look up, man. Yes, sir. Man. So one of mine that I have is "Carefree" by Mick Jenkins.
Mick Jenkins, Chicago native as well.
I didn't even know Mick Jenkins was from Chicago till you just said that.
From the Shy, man. He's dope
Never
too.
knew.
Super dope.
Super dope though, man. But Carefree is a dope record. It's one of those records, man. It's so smooth and fire that I didn't even realize it was talking about police brutality until like my fifth time listening to the song.
Wow.
Um, Definitely recommend it. It's just a smooth song to ride around to. Almost gives you like a Larry June type of feel to it.
Mm,
But we really sit and listen to the lyrics. You're like, wait a minute. He's talking
yeah.
about being profiled and different stuff in there. Definitely a fire record, man. So I highly recommend checking out Carefree by Mick Jenkins. Yeah, just dope overall record. What else we got? We got I also want you all to make sure that you check out um, Letters. We referenced it here. Make sure you
Yeah.
check out Letters by Chance the Rapper. Um, it's very critical of mega churches
Mm,
you know how really how religion has been used and abused
mm,
um, historically and systemically. I think it's a dope record that I feel like needs more attention. So I would highly recommend checking out Chance the Rapper featuring Rachel Robinson, Letters. That's one I would highly
beautiful record.
recommend. Beautiful record. JID Glory off his
Mm,
latest project as well. Another record I would highly recommend checking out that I've been going back to a lot since his project dropped. Also want to recommend that one. And let's see if there's one more that I want to throw in there. I will also throw in. I'm gonna go south. I'm gonna go a throwback from the south. UGK Murder.
Mm.
Hard,
Mm.
hard record. If you're not familiar with UGK at all, I think this is a great starting point. Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard. Play it in your car at full volume when you play
Full volume. Make sure if you got a kid, close they give
it.
them muffs or
Mm,
something. But
yes. We have another category.
yes, sir. Nice nonsense.
That's nonsense. I got one too.
Okay. Okay.
It's actually off the Metro Boomin project.
Okay.
Waka Flocka, clap. Me and the
Um,
lady were vibing to this differently in the car the other day, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this one is like that. This one is probably going off of some different settings. Um, a
yeah.
hot that is a like I said, it's nonsense, but it's nice. All right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the one. Metro Boomin, Waka Flocka, clap is definitely on the nice nonsense list for me. You got anything for nice nonsense?
Yeah, man. This is one of the young YNs I listen to, bro. Love Tyler. Luh Tyler, common spelling. He got a record. It is old, but I was vibing to it in the gym, bro. I just needed a change of pace. So I listened to Lil Tyler. Rapper of the Year, dope record, better production, and just lazy but effective flow. That's all I want out of a Lil Tyler record, and that's exactly what you get out of Rapper of the Year. Another one, bro. It is not so nonsense, but it made no sense to how I stumbled on this record. And the fact, it also makes no sense how I haven't heard it before, but it's a Flying Lotus Kendrick Lamar. This is not nonsense, but it makes no sense why I haven't heard this before.
Mm,
It's called Never Catch Me, man. If you know me, you know I'm a big Flying Lotus fan.
I don't think I know that
Obviously,
record. I think
obviously we're big Kendrick fans, but
wow.
Never Catch Me, highly recommend if you just love flowy instrumentation and dope MCing. Like it's the marriage of those two. Final one, I would say not so much nonsense, but it makes no sense. Let It Go with Coda the Friend and Static Selector. Big Static Selector fan. A newly minted Coda the Friend fan.
You doing to me? You over here naming more fire records. You ain't naming nonsense, man.
Bro, this is
You
it makes
adding
no
on to the
sense.
hidden hits.
But yeah, man, them records, bro, is shit. Tune in, tune in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, man. And I'll throw one more in there, man. Primo Rice, deep in my bag. I've
I
been
love Primo.
man. Primo Rice is hard. You know what I
He's
mean?
hard, bro.
I'm only putting in nice nonsense because he be talking that peace stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But hard.
yeah, and he be talking about that, bro. There, I have a soft spot for pimps. Hear me out. there's, there's something about like the sugar freeze, the Primo
I
rices.
need you to hold on. I'm gonna save you from yourself. You're talking about pimp influenced music.
That's it. Not actual,
Okay, I'm
man.
just
Pimp influence music. That's
okay.
perfectly stated.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Got
I
you. Got
mean,
you.
because I do not support anything about the P, okay? But what I do like,
I just want you to clarify.
no, I needed that. I needed to clarify myself immediately. But yeah, bro, like when it comes to the Primo Rice's, J Worthy, Sugar Freeze, I
Hard.
love their music. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I'm with you.
they just got good musicality. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And for all I know, all of them are lying, just like a lot of these people who rap about Southern drugs were lying. So
Church. You know what I'm
yeah, so a
saying?
lot of them are, people got to realize a lot of people try to run with this hip hop is autobiographical stuff. Cap. Okay. There are some
Big
artists who
cap.
rap about their lives. There are a whole lot who lie about everything.
A
So
whole lot.
I want to
A lot
also put that
more.
out there. I would say it's even, if not swaying towards the lying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who are lying and just making stuff up because it sounds good on records. So keep that in mind. But I would agree that those artists that you named, that type
Yeah.
of music, Pimp C included. You know what I mean?
Pimp C for sure.
Like that talk on records is different for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Hey, man, another dope episode, man. Hey, make sure y'all are following us on social media at Rap and Reason. Make sure that you subscribe. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, man, hit the subscribe button. Um, man, show us love. Keep commenting. Make sure you comment some things that you want us to talk about, man. We'll try to get to it on the show.
Yeah.
We try to make sure we listen to the comments and things that you all say, as far as what you want us to talk about. So yeah, man, leave a comment on the social media, on YouTube. I mean, we'll make sure we try to get to it. If you listen on audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, give us the 5-star rating, man, and we'll keep giving you all these hip hop takes, man. Episode 59.
Episode 59, man. Until next time.
Till next time, bro. We out.
Out.